and also on Channels Television, on DSTV channel 420. We are also live on Zamfara Radio, 564 FM for the people in Zamfara State, and also on Zamfara Television. This program is being broadcast live. Thank you very much for joining us and for watching. Governor. Yes, well, congratulations. It's been 2 years. And in the last few days, you've been commissioning one project after another. I recall that President Olusegun Obasanjo was here, and he commissioned a specialist hospital. He also commissioned 2 major roads, and he said that we are on a rescue mission in Zamfara State, and you can be sure of his support. Senator Jules Okalu was also here to commission the Ministry of Women Affairs that has been renovated and remodeled, and also Zakas, which is a school, also which has been renovated and likely rebuilt. Now, the President Obasanjo says you are on a rescue mission. What have you been rescuing in the last 2 years? Because when you say rescue, it's like the state was in danger and you needed to come and rescue. Do you see yourself as someone who has come to rescue Zamfara State? And what have you been rescuing?
Well, Ruben, first of all, welcome to Zamfara State and the entire team that are here. It's such a pleasure to have you in Zamfara State, and I'm happy you're here to see for yourself what Zamfara is all about. Like you rightly mentioned, Ojikalu was here on Monday. We actually came together on Sunday. And I remember he was complaining about the trip where it took him 7 hours from the 40-kilometer trip to get to Gusau. Anyway, on Monday, he was able to commission 2 projects. One was the Women's Center. It wasn't actually reconstructed. It was a brand new construction of Women Affairs, fully furnished, as well as renovation of major classrooms, as well as hostel at the Zamfara State College of Art and Science. The same thing, President Obasanjo, yesterday, he commissioned the newly renovated Yarima Mbakura Specialist Hospital, where we had to do everything. In fact, we had to change everything and build new structure in Zamfara at that hospital. This is the first time is witnessing this kind of transformation, especially in the health sector. Let me give you a brief background. In December 2023, having gone around the hospitals in Zamfara State, most especially the ones in the state capital, I was totally put aback. I was disappointed with the conditions I saw those hospitals. And that was what led to the declaration of emergency in the health sector on the 31st of December 2023. And what I did at that time was to set up a team of experts to go around all the 40 local governments to understand what is happening in all the hospitals, especially the secondary hospital, tertiary hospital, before we went back to look at the primary healthcare centers. After putting that committee, they came up with a lot of recommendations that we need to take drastic actions to change the narratives in the health sector. And we started with a hospital in one of the local government called Bukwim in a town called Nasarawa Burkolu. It was a primary healthcare center. I remember when I went to campaign that time and I saw the condition of the hospital, I said, look, I'm going to do something, transform that primary healthcare center into a general hospital. And I'm happy to say that that was the first major hospital that we commissioned. It was a total dysfunctional system. And I'm happy to say that we have done that hospital fully renovated, fully equipped. The major one now was the one commissioned yesterday by the former President Olusegun Obasanjo. There was a total rehabilitation of the system, and new structures were added. I'm happy to say that now everything that is in that hospital is brand new. So that is from scratch. It's a brand new hospital, because when I went to Zamfara, when I saw the labor room, the theater, believe me, Ruben, even your animal, as a conscious human being with conscience, you will not allow your animal to be operated in that theater, talk less of a human being. So it is actually a rescue mission. And the rescue mission consists of different sectors, which I will tell you one after the other. This is about health. So in the health sector, we're doing so much. And it's not about having the structures. It's also having the manpower to be able to handle exactly what we're doing in order to attract medical personnel to be able to come and serve in Zamfara State and take care of the good people of Zamfara State. My vision is, I don't want any citizen of Zamfara State to go outside Zamfara looking for medical attention. That is what I intend to do, and I'm sure within the next couple of months, that will be achievable.
Well, I'm sure we have other things. And
it's a world of record. Compared to the number of cases you had of people being kidnapped or people being killed in different parts of Zamfara State, and compared to what is happening right now, the answer is it has dropped down drastically. And we're making conscious effort to make sure Zamfara is free from banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and all sorts of security challenges the state is facing. Yes, you're right. And the DSS as well as police. But before we even went into that, we had to go to State Assembly to have a legislation. So we had to go to State Assembly to have a legislation so that they will be legal. And we got that. Legal. And we got that. And when we did that, we engaged the DSS to profile because it has given hope to the people. It has given hope to the people. People now realize, yes, there's presence of security and there's presence of government. There's presence of security and there's presence of government. And it's a continuous thing, continue that engagement.
Honor her.
Okay, Mr. Governor.
That's the Chief of Defense Staff.
Okay, Mr. Governor.
That's the Chief of Defense Staff and the NSA. First of all, to understand what federal government is doing and where we need collaboration and cooperation, so as to work seamlessly, because my main goal, the Chief Executive of Zamfara State, is to secure Zamfara from all these menace of banditry, kidnapping and all other related crimes in Zamfara State. And I'm happy.
You do not
kill the head.
His head.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have his head.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have actually succeeded in dealing with your challenge.
Yes. Yes.
I suppose my colleague asked that question. About the root cause of this issue. Because
I killed about two people. And they were also expecting government to react and protect them, and expecting government to react and protect them and take the necessary action. That didn't happen. So they lost that grudge. And from there, things just started escalating. And in that kind of station, once you don't contain a situation from the beginning, and you just allow it to linger. And it's my responsibility for the safety of their lives and properties. For the safety of their lives and properties. What am I supposed to do? I have to make conscious effort. What am I supposed to do? I have to make conscious effort by whatever means to protect lives and property.
Zamfara is the poorest state in Nigeria, and you're here to confirm whether or not that is true. So, how do you ensure adequate funding for frontline responses?
Olajumoke, it is true. In order to assist in going round, and these are brand new cars in going round, and these are brand new cars, some are bulletproof, some are APCs, some are bulletproof, some are APCs, in order to help going round for logistics. Because of what? To have factories built for logistics. Because of what? To have factories built, we engage private sector because you need PPP. To get to that, and within the shortest possible time,
state police has been shattered, and if that is so, don't you think as the one shattered, and if that is so, don't you think as the one that pioneered this thing that has been able to restore peace to Zamfara to some degree, you should now be the poster boy.
Let me know I have my people that I can give directives, I can give order, go and do this. And the good thing is, you get these people locally because they live from within the community. They understand the community. All these bandits that you're talking about, they are our own people. So, I'm an advocate of state police.
Okay, Your Excellency, I think we'll take a few follow-up questions on the issue of security. We have a long...
It's a very important question, Ruben, that you ask. Part of what we did as 7 Northwest governors, especially Zamfara, at it with their own watch, yes. Followed by Zamfara, after which Sokoto also launched their own, and so is Kebbi. That is one. 2, there must be constant, because it affects everybody. Okay. And without peace, there will be no meaningful development.
So, Governor, we'll take one more follow-up question. So, Governor, we'll take one more follow-up question, and then we'll go on break, and then when we come back, we may still continue with this security matter.
Absolutely.
Because he's the major. As he wants to ask a question, Aruleba wants to ask a question. Who will go first?
Just very quickly,
yes,
build on what
possible misuse of such outfits. What would be your response to?
Okay.
Possible misuse of such outfits. What would be your response to?
Okay. What is happening with the conventional security right now? Are they not being misused in one way or the other?
Well, on that note, Let's take a short break. Now, if you're watching us, we're broadcasting live from the office.
Bringing fresh energy and bold insights to journalists' hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays, 1:30.
Friend and partner. They're Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like never before. Join me every weekday for an hour of fact-finding interviews where questions cut to the core.
To had a follow-up question.
I think I partially answered this question about my. I think I partially answered this question about my stand and my position.
I'm satisfied with us.
Submitted that one. Now coming back.
I'm satisfied with us.
Submitted that one. Now coming back to your question in terms non-negotiation, and we even gave a framework under which if there's going to be any, then those process must be followed, and as at the last must be followed. And as at the last time we went with the NSA, we have not finalized on the way forward because they are still studying the submission. You went and still studying the submission. You went and saw the new airport, as well as the new airport, as well as the proposed airports under Matawale's administration. Now, when I came up with the concept of airports, I had to call all the regulatory bodies. To understand what have they done first. And I am the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, and he came with the team to do a proper assessment. To give us the go-ahead to start, because what I wanted to do is to construct a standard international airport for Zamfara. And I'll tell you why. Reason being, looking at the situation of Zamfara State, we need to open up the state. Ruben, I just told you about what Zamfara, in terms of the number of people that are being employed, the revenue generation that you'll be getting is something. So that is why you see that structure as it is. Whoever has any issue can come up. When I took over on May 31st, 2023, for good 5 months, there was no drop of water in Gusau as the capital.
So 30% is even overestimated.
In Gusau as the capital.
So 30% is even overestimated.
I'm giving history.
Okay.
When I took over history.
Okay.
When I took over for be completely remodeled to serve the community. Now, going back to local government, having realized the challenges of water, we started with Maradun local government. For months and years, there was no water. And we're able to restore water in more drainages all across. And it's not just happening in Gusau. We're also constructing roads in other local government.
Basically construction sites.
Yes.
Which is good. But what about the issue of compensation?
Yes.
Which is good. But what about the issue of compensations? For the disruptions. Houses. For the disruptions. Houses. When we went to the airport, we saw that some communities had to be displaced.
Well finished, I must say. But beyond the building, do you have a dedicated budget for women-focused initiatives? And how is it being utilized?
What I realize is women plays.
I didn't realize why
women plays.
I didn't realize why former President Obasanjo, a man so stingy with praises. Will shower such praises on you. Will shower such praises on you as a man who is delivering.
Hold him on the retainership phone.
Who is delivering?
Hold him on the retainership phone now, to be able to look after those equipment. And also part of the agreement we had even before the construction was about training, just like we're doing with schools.
Okay, Governor, let's go back to the issue of
just like we're doing with schools.
Okay, Governor, let's go back to the issue of education and empowerment.
Yes.
In education and empowerment.
Yes.
In 2023, as at the time you were taking over, UNICEF reported that Zamfara ranked among five of the states with the largest number of out-of-school children.
Letter Z at the bottom, which was one of the reasons why I had to declare state of emergency in education. The first thing I did was, everybody can apply and tell you he wants to be a teacher. But when you get to classroom, it's a different ballgame. So training is key. And at the same time now, we incentivize parents to send their children to school because the level of poverty, Ruben, is beyond imagination. We're doing, conscious effort, psychological. We're doing, conscious effort, psychological. We're doing, conscious effort, psychological, changing the mindset, changing the mindset of people, to key into some of these last one. Yes, last one. Yes, I did declare my asset. Publicly. It's a public information there. You can always get the information. My asset. Publicly. It's a public information there. You can always get the information. 2, haven't realized the challenges in Zamfara State. First of all, let me tell you. So our financial transactions are so open and transparent that anybody can have access to. On top of that, I do hold quarterly
Alamajiri issue.
And
what model will you recommend to the entire? North to solve the problem?
What I spoke about
to solve the problem.
What I spoke about the Angaya school, that is the Islamic and the Western education is a model. The Western education is a model to try to discourage Al-Majri. It's the same Al-Majri that.
What do you do?
I haven't realized also 80% of the population are farmers. We came up with incentives. To encourage the farmers to go back to farm, especially now the security is coming much better and is coming much better, and people are able to go back to their farms. We distribute fertilizer. It's in all the three senatorial districts. And that has helped in terms of the girl child. Education. And it's functioning very well. And it is true. Yes.
I like to believe that in addition to that, you also probably get funding from the federal allocation.
Oh yeah, I mean that is
from the federal allocation.
Oh yeah, I mean that is given.
But considering the level of work, you are doing and what you have spent,
we're doing
and
we marry the two together. That's one. Two, I don't have issue in terms of the revenue sharing formula because I want money. But what we're doing now, it has nothing to do with revenue from mining. We haven't reached there because I have not seen a dime from there. So, but we're getting to that level.
Yeah. What are some of the steps you will probably take? And then beyond that, in this state, Zamfara State, you say you are, and then beyond that, in this state, Zamfara State, you say you are the governor of everybody. And I asked you, are you also the governor of everybody? And I asked you, are you also the governor of Matawale? Are you also the governor of Abdulaziz?
It's for me to leave a legacy where people remember Dauda Lawal legacy, where people remember Dauda Lawal as the governor of Zamfara State that did X, Y, Z, that touches the governor of Zamfara State that did X, Y, Z, that touches the lives of the people of Zamfara State. And that is why I told you when he asks about agriculture, when we're sharing fertilizer or every other implement, I made it the way forward to solve this problem going forward.
You were in APC in 2018. You were in APC in 2018. You were before you moved over to the PDP.
Yes.
Now you are the before you moved over to the PDP.
Yes.
Now you are the last man standing.
Problem. What will you do?
Well, let me make a
problem. What will you do?
Well, let me make a statement here. There is no party that is not in crisis in one way. Statement here. There is no party that is not in crisis in one way or the other. It may vary. Yes, PDP are having internal crisis, but these are things. Yes, PDP are having internal crisis, but these are things that.
But Your Excellency, you're part of, or you're a member of that reconciliatory committee.
Yes.
So you're part of, or you're a member of that reconciliatory committee.
Yes.
Chaired by Bukola Saraki.
Yeah.
And you've just said that every party has its own challenge. What exactly?
Yeah.
And you've just said that every party has its own challenge. What exactly are you guys trying to fix? What problem are you trying to fix?
Well, I'm sure Jumake,
what problem are you trying to fix?
Well, I'm sure Jumake, is like I say, is an internal thing. That the civil servant in Zamfara is an internal thing. That the civil servant in Zamfara State was 7,000 naira. Letter 767. And I look at it and say, how can somebody live on 7,000 naira? And that was one I implement after paying the backlog of the 4-month salary of everybody. Also make a categorical statement here that I, Dauda Lawal, the governor of Zamfara State, did not borrow a dime from any financial institution from Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company. I settled that. When I took over, I did not have one single car, official car, to use as a governor. Our liaison office, internal problem within the PDP, and we're making conscious effort to solve the problem. I think it's about people's ego.
Which people?
All the members.
And the rights of these Nigerians. and the rights of these Nigerians. Have you had a conversation with the Federal Ministry? Have you had a conversation with the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs on this? Is this still humanitarian affairs on this? Is this still a critical condition in Zamfara State?
Oh yes, we have had
Zamfara State.
Oh yes, we have had series of engagements. Our government are also purchasing drugs to supply to especially the primary health cares as well as some of the secondary hospitals. And we're experimenting to see
the Supreme Court that gave you victory finally. Don't you think the National Assembly's bill is trying to return us back to Egypt where we're already in the promised land?
Well, you see,
already in the promised land.
Well, you see, I don't want to go into. We have now gone to a fact that we pay premium to attract medical personnel to come and work in Zamfara State.
Okay, so what should the people expect in the remaining 2 years?
There'll be
which includes education, health, security, and expansion of the economy through agribusiness. The people have continued to feel the impact